Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as George LaBonte joins Brian O'Donnell to revisit some of the most memorable MCU builds from this season of Project Dreamboat.
Well, Brian, here we are again, another year in the books, man, and I'm telling you what, it seems like it's been a long one. It's been a really good one, though. That contender really generated a lot of interest and a lot of comments to me, emails and everything, and, you know, everybody's been saying, when's the contender splash? When's the contender splash? Well, you know, we've seen it now, but I saw the boat at the boat ramp going in the water when you guys put it in there to test run it, and that paint job on that boat was sick, man. I mean, I'm talking about, I had to do a 360 around the whole trailer. It really came out nice.
Yeah, so the owner of that boat, Harold Paris, he came in here, initially called me about leaky fuel tanks in his boat. Next thing you know, the hurricanes happened, the boat came up here, it had a couple scratches and dings and dents, and he made the executive decision to go ahead and spend some bucks, and he said, you know what, I'm ready for those new Yamahas. I said, if you're gonna do those 300 Yamahas and you were thinking about painting this boat, now's the time to do it. All Grip has this new metallic paint. I explained to him, it's gonna just set the boat off, and the boat just really came out like a 10.
Now, I noticed on the reveal part of the show that the owner seemed to go really crazy about that dash panel. How about that?
Not only did we build a full panel, but we bent it in 2 areas, so it formed to the complete dash area. We took this new Infinity radio and we incorporated it from the back, even though it's not designed for it. Not to mention, when he looked up forward a little bit, he didn't just see the Infinity head unit, he saw all those new Infinity speakers. And let me tell you, that was another cool part of the project.
Listen, at the end of the day, he wanted a boat that looked like new. He got one that looked like it was better than new.
Yeah, no, it was, and that's what I mean. Harold was awesome to deal with throughout the whole project. He gave me a lot of leeway and a lot of space to do my own thing, and I was able to really lay it out onto this boat, and I think at the end of the day I hit it out of the park because he was super excited at that reveal.
You know, another boat that really generated a lot of interest to me, and it looked kind of like a little brother to the contender, was that Paramount. That guy was really looking for some speed. I mean, the motor had everybody talking.
It's a little different project than the contender. I mean, this was a complete rehab. This was a major refit, major structural work, stringers. We cut the cap down. But yeah, that boat was a major renovation.
Whose idea was it to cut that cap down? I mean, you basically changed the look of that boat. I mean, nobody probably would even be able to tell what kind of a boat it was now with that new look on that shear line.
So it actually originated from Steve telling me that it would look really cool, and it just brought it into a new era, and the boat looked super sharp when we got it trimmed out.
You know, the metallic paint again on this boat, is this going to be something we see? Is this like a trend starting here in the future? Tell me about that, and also a bunch of other stuff on the boat. You really dressed this thing up nice.
Sometimes a customer sees a boat coming out of my spray booth and they see it, they gotta have it. And that was kind of what happened with Steve. He came up with the idea of going with the stone gray. The boat just came together. The taco rub rail with the stainless insert with the lights up in the bow, they looked incredible. We customized this console and we built it to where you'd be able to put a little angle cooler up there, be able to remove the cooler, use those custom angle brackets that strap the cooler down to strap down a live well when he goes fishing with his buddies. Not to mention the fishability of this boat with those power poles on the back. We were able to drop the boat, the bow stays in one direction. He loved the location of the Bennett trim tab switch. Being able to control this boat with that big motor on the back, not to mention the stereo system in this thing. The location of the speaker pods and how we position them to go up to the forward part of the console, those Infinity speakers not only look awesome, they sound great.
Okay, let's roll it back here. You got a cool looking boat that turns heads at the sandbar, goes 70 miles an hour plus, fishes. I mean, he's got everything he wants in the boat, obviously.
George, is no doubt. The boat looked awesome, sounded awesome. It was a great project.
Okay, now on the other side of the spectrum here, not all boats are gigantic, big project type of boats. You know, I'm thinking about Ron Wagner and that Cudicraft. Incidentally, this guy is a legend, old guard guy down in the Keys. And this boat was not a super fancy boat, but it turned into a big job. Tell me a little bit about the Cudicraft.
He buys the boat, he gets it home, he's cleaning it up, and he's got the smell of fuel in it. Go figure, it's got a rotten fuel tank. Now you wouldn't expect that or think it in this later model boat, but let me tell you, the way they constructed and put this thing together, that's what caused this problem that they had with the fuel tank. I couldn't believe the things I found as we cut this boat up. They never put limber holes in the stringers. This thing just filled up with water from moisture in the rain and all the other things washing the boat down, and the water had nowhere to go. So it literally was rotting away, just sitting there. And being a real simple build and not a whole lot of things going on with it, it was still a major project.
Okay, now this guy's going to use this boat down in the Keys. I mean, he's been a guide in the Keys forever, and he's going to use it as a guide boat. So anything special you needed to do to make that work for him?
I had no idea. I've built a lot of boats for people. I've never been asked to make one live well a dark reddish brown color, and another one a blue color. And apparently the baits adapt to the colors, and depending on where you're fishing, you want the baits to have a deeper color. But these are the tricks you learn after guiding over 50-something years, especially down in the Florida Keys. Ron called me up after receiving the boat. He had only had it for 3 or 4 weeks, and he said, "Brian, I hate this chair in the boat." He told me he wanted a cooler at his seat, not under the seat. I reached out to my friends over at Angle Coolers. They had me this custom cooler all set up with a C-deck pad so Ron could sit on it, and I built him this really neat PVC extruded box that we painted with all grip, and it's actually a tackle drawer that he could slide out and put all types of storage of tackle and other odd ends. It really came out nice, and it was really functional for him.
Brian, as a guide, I understand, what Ron was going for, and guides are particular. I mean, everybody's got a little bit different idea what the perfect boat is for them. My idea is not going to work for him necessarily, and his not for me. But, at the end of the day, I think Ron got exactly what he was looking for with this boat.